Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Rogue Trader with me, Bring It On. Let's speak to Zadina the Outcast. A figure in decaying tatters is rocking to and fro, muttering indistinctly in several different voices, occasionally breaking into hoarse laughter. As you come closer, she freezes and turns slowly to look at you. An ugly rusted mask covers her face. Are you here to take Zadina to the other side? No. No, no, no. You're just wandering around in the dark, looking for the light, but it's nowhere to be found. Do you really not see it? Who are you? Oh, Zadina. Zadina the Outcast. Zadina the Mad. Zadina the Disaster. Zadina the Curse. Zadina the Spurned. The woman hugs her arms to her chest and starts cackling loudly. Broken chains clink at her emaciated wrists and neck. A ghost of the past. A shadow of the present. Only the Undying One knows. He alone. What is this repulsive place? Do you live here? The woman scratches her neck nervously. You note her deformed fingers, ravaged by some unknown disease. Here, where the unfortunate meet their undeath. Here, a dumping ground for the bodies of those the Undying One rejects. Here, where pestilence dwells. Zadina welcomes them all, talks to their ghosts. Here where Zadina lives. Yes, that sounds right. You talk to ghosts. You can't hear them. Zadina points somewhere off to the side, laughs, then stops herself sharply. They don't like it when people come here. Lord Captain, this woman is clearly ill in both spirit and body. Best to leave her be. Her colors are all mixed, smudged, poised to reveal a pure shade of madness. And yet, scarlet threads separate these trembling patches, preventing her from losing herself. Why are you wearing chains and a mask? You haven't escaped from the enforcers, have you? Ah, these. The gifts they are. The chains clink to announce Adina's approach, for others to hear. She slides her disease-darkened palm down the rough, rusted metal of her mask. They hide, fearful of becoming like Zadina, afraid of losing face. Ha ha ha. There's a blood symbol next to you. I have seen such marks before. Is this another part of the Song of Trailing Blood? Zadina bursts in hysterical laughter. Oh yes, oh yes. The song. Here, listen, listen. The woman starts chanting hurriedly. She wandered an eternity in dark, yet was consoled. Web foretold. A dying one's blood secrets glowed, a light to guide her faithful fold. But threads must end. And so the spider did that which was owed, her life and death the ship bestowed. She laughs again, and you'll see if you learn to see. Look into the darkness, look, look. Peer into the darkness. I cannot fathom what I meant to see here. You peer into the darkness, and are gradually able to make out the outlines of objects hidden in the shadows. Rotting corpses, rough walls. The twitching death throes of infected people left here to die. You see no light in this place, only more darkness and despair. You don't see, do you? You don't see. Zadina shakes her head frantically and starts tearing off her rags. Strips of her decaying flesh peel off along with them. You will not see until you become like Zadina, the flesh and blood of this ship. How do I become the flagship's blood? Oh, Zadina will show you. You'll see the true light. Come. Come now.
Always keep your eye on the prize.
The rotating blades promise nothing but a senseless and brutal death. Slipping past them would require some unreasonably precise calculations, or blind luck. While listening to the air currents, for a moment you think you hear Zadina's whispered prayer, rising from the depths of the shaft. Alright, jump. See you guys on the flip side. For your life in the Undying One's hands, Dom and Donnie Dawson. For Throne's sake, come to your senses. Stop. Don't do it. Geronimo!
keep your wits about you.
The Undying Emperor holds out his hands to all his children, offering them the highest reward, a worthy death. I'd like to get over there. I don't know if I'm going to make this or not. That was a coin toss. A little bit better than a coin toss. There are large holes in the compartment ceiling. The spinners have dismantled the bulkheads to expand their temple ever higher.
Rise to the top, or get left in the dust.
Actually, can I go back up? Probably climb that ladder. I could definitely climb that ladder. Have to redo all that if I wanted to reload. Let's hope we can get back to it. Delman Donnie Dawson. The Dying One has whispered that you would honor the Temple of Death with a visit. We're ready to serve you. Tangles of improvised bridges constructed from beams and flooring stretch ever higher, not unlike a web. The temple is growing as if it were a living organism.
I always keep my options open.
Cultstone sarcophagi serve as the death cultist beds. The bones of their deceased comrades are their bedding.
Let us not dawdle. I'll learn from this mistake.
Aha! My Bloody Pact. Staff grants its wielder a special ability called Crimson Rage. The wielder can suffer damage equal to 25% of their maximum wounds to gain plus 1 AP. It can be used multiple times per turn, as long as the wielder has at least 50 wounds. You can use it twice at full health. Spinner's Blade, which we've seen before.
Always keep your eye on the prize.
A crimson torrent flows from the statue's hands, a symbol of the countless deaths offered up in his name. Underneath the ancient relic is a stone plaque with an inscription carved in elegant cursive. If you value life above duty, you are not worthy of life. Vizier Geophranus. Blood Drinker. Whenever the wearer makes a melee attack, they regain 1 wound. 5 generations of spinners have guarded this relic, so that it may serve the worthiest of the Domini. Its time has come. That is really good on Bella.
Is there money to be made?
Because she attacks a lot. A part of the cult's service to the Undying One involves turning the corpses of the departed into sacred altars for their blood-anointed congregation to pray at. You see their bones kind of put in the side there.
Just as I planned.
Smoke tickles your nostrils, making you slightly dizzy. Such substances are known to induce visions or hallucinations. You can see our companions are here. Succeeded. A frail old man, graybeard tinged with blood, folds his wrinkled hands in a ritual gesture. His body is covered in scars, some old, some fresh. His eyes are sewn tightly shut. His mouth is cleft at both corners, making his jaw seem eerily snake-like. And the Lord of the Ark walked the paths of unlife, in the footsteps of the web's very first spinner, and the servants of death bowed before him, but the Doman is the giver of life. The old man goes still, his head turned to the side. He nods toward the temple's muffled silence. Yes, yes, truth like a stream pours from your lips. We welcome him as the tenets demand. Your hues are almost as pale as the gray of your beard, but what is this? Cassia flinches and takes a shuddering breath. A scarlet whirlwind shines through the faded colors. A servant of death who sees beyond the threshold. A spider who spins a cocoon at the end of his thread. Adira shakes her head and clutches her temples. Sorry about that. It just came over me. I didn't say anything too weird, did I? A thin blade appears in the old man's trembling hands. Although his arms are stiff and look like they can barely bend, in the next instant, the dynasty symbol is etched on his forehead, dripping blood. With a brief motion, he flicks the blood off his blade, and several drops land on your face. The Bloodspun Web welcomes its new lord. I am the Vizier. For many years we have waited, and now you are here. We have waited. Whispers echo his words from the shadows. But why is it you invited me here? Death whispered your name and commanded us to honor you with a sacred ritual, but only inside the temple can the spinners perform it. The Vizier is suddenly distracted by someone invisible and nods toward empty space. Yes, we are glad he has reached this place. We are glad to serve. What do you mean you have waited for many years? It was not so long ago that I made my acquaintance with the cult. As I delve into my divinations from the flesh and blood of the departed ones, I turn to a relic most ancient and priceless. It is his tarot, inherited by the cult from the matriarch Spider, who spun the first thread. One of the readings I did back when I still had the strength to leave the temple and usher souls on their final journey. That was when, in the intricate tangle of destiny, I glimpsed our meeting. But when we would meet, alas, was not revealed to me. So we waited, year after year, and now the hour has come. Vizier. Is that some sort of title? It is a name we give to the first spinner, the one who has learnt the wisdom of the tenets of the web in order to lead others. I may have a duty to instruct and spin bloody threads, but in all other ways I am as much his servant, and yours, as anyone else in this temple. So, you just walked my companions in here the normal way, while I was forced to take that jump. The spinners guided them along a different trail. You had to take the step, for only you were meant to become the flagship's blood domain. There was no reason to test the faith of those who follow you, for this burden was for their lord to bear. How did you manage to erect an entire temple in the middle of the ship without anyone noticing? Followers of the cult once inhabited the tunnels between the bay's bulkheads, so the threads of fate were tangled, and a dominant of pages past gave us this compartment. We set ourselves to building spacious halls where the shadows, the images of him, and the spinners themselves would whisper of death. And thus the temple that you see began to change with the succession of Viziers and the cult's generations. We're building it still, slowly but surely. I expected greater respect from one who so eagerly anticipated a meeting with the rogue trader. Struggling to suppress the tremors in his body, the Vizier bows as low as his hunchback allows. I meant more like not making me drop however many meters into a dark pit. Forgive us our poor manners. Our intention was not to insult you. You're the first visitor from the upper decks we have had in a great many years, and the customs of longtime servants of death are somewhat different. but rest assured that there is no disrespect in them. I have walked the path of the matriarch spider. What now? The Song of Trailing Blood tells of a path fraught with trials. By accepting it and setting out on that path, you pass the first one, the trial of resolve. For not everyone is prepared to shun their fear and doubt and embark on a search for the unknown, a search for death. The trial of compassion was the second one. You passed it when you put yourself, albeit briefly, in the service of another soul, a man suffering from burns. But the choice between life and death is to be made only by those willing to take responsibility for the pain of another. The third was the trial of justice. In assuming the role of judge for an apostate of our faith, you declared your right to influence the balance of life and death that the errant soul had upset. And the fourth was the trial of duty, for duty always leads to death. We're prepared to render our duty to the Undying One, fearless and accepting of our purpose, which is to serve him. You too have proven yourself prepared, and the 4 trials have brought you here. Were the trials truly necessary? Would not a conversation have sufficed? The Vizier bows his head guiltily. Such are the tenets of the web. They are all we have ever known, and the only life we have learned to live. The path you walked was a gift from the Undying One, and so we decided that was how we were to honor you. The Vizier's sun-shut eyes seem to peer into your face, studying it. Then he turns away and speaks into empty space again. Peace, my brother. The time has almost come. Who is it you talk to all the time? Vizier turns his head as if looking around the temple. I see echoes of those who came before us, of those who were with us, but have since crossed over to the other side. My brothers and sisters raised by the cult. I hear them from beyond their deaths. They share their wisdom. I heed them. The other spinners, they hear not, for that burden is mine to bear. I see your eyes are sewn shut. Are you blind, or is that another of the cult's rituals? I was sighted for much of my life. Until a disciple of mine violated the tenets, I realized just how blind I had been. A lesson, but a bitter one. To look with one's eyes alone is to be easily fooled, but the heart cannot be lied to. Such is the truth, and such was my choice. I sealed my eyelids with a geas of true sight. Now I see more, and better. So this entire conversation is another test, I imagine. A smile graces the Vizier's bluish lips. The tenets command us to be prepared for all trials, corporeal and spiritual alike. Are you prepared, Dalman Donnie Dawson? His mouth closes, but you can still hear his whisper. A prickling sensation in your face is making you increasingly anxious. You raise a hand to your cheek, only to realize you can't feel it. You look at your palm and see a few smudged drops of blood from the Vizier's blade. A strange serene calm envelops your body. Your fatigue subsides, and you seem to float in the air, seeing things you had not noticed before. The shadows in the corners taking on shape and color. The subdued lumen light playing on the cultist bone masks. Are they really masks? They're tall, lean, empty-eyed wearers. Might as well be dead people. A chill runs down your spine. What is the meaning of this? Your heart is beating slowly. Your breathing has become deeper. Your thoughts are muddled. You seem to be under the influence of a potent stimulant. Look around the temple. One moment, the walls of Death's Sanctum grow infinitely wide. The next, they are so narrow as to make it hard to breathe. The floor dances under your feet, and the Undying Emperor's statue seems to shake its head threateningly as it looks down upon you. You poisoned me somehow, did you not? Vizier nods meekly. My blood is infused with a concoction taken by those who follow the thread. It is sacred and harmless to us, but it befogs and afflicts. But you it befogs and afflicts. And yet, Damadani Dawson, you've grasped that the mind may fail the body and the senses. This was the trial of spiritual acumen. You have passed it. And what happens now? That is for you to tell me. You look at the Vizier, and his trembling frame seems small and insignificant. A single step is all it would take to crush him. But the visions are starting to wear off. Now the old man towers over you. The keen gaze of his sealed eyes is studying your every movement, waiting for a response. First, you're going to give me the antidote. There is none, but I will ease its effect and quicken the dissipation. 3 long, thick needles appear in the Vizier's hand. A moment later, they're inside your body. 1 in your neck, 1 in your shoulder, and 1 between your ribs. You feel no pain or discomfort. On the contrary, your mind feels clearer, and your muscles regain their function. The Vizier then carefully removes the needles. Now you will feel better. Now you're going to initiate me as a servant of death. The Vizier ponders your words for a long time, whispers something to the empty space behind his shoulder, then shakes his twitching head. Our threat is repellent to you, Dom and Donnie Dawson. It's a lot of D's. You proved it by walking the matriarch's path in your own way. It is your right, and we respect your choice. However, only one who accepts the essence of death may become its servant. You accept your own essence. We dare not burden you with our dogma. For years, we maintained fealty to the Domini. We have collected sacred symbols and relics. You are the first in 3 generations of lords and ladies to descend into this sanctum. We are grateful. We are uplifted in spirit. Through our exaltation, and accept this gift of a vestment sewn from the bones of his faithful, with the threads of death. That which is foretold has come to pass. The ritual of descent is complete. Now be this temple's guest of honor, and rest a while. Spinner's ritual vestments. Pretty cool. The sight of a Bloodspun Web initiates grim attire inspires terror in their enemies, and pious trepidation in followers of the Undying One. For this bone armor, sheathed tightly in thin leather, identifies the wearer as a messenger of death itself. So base armor property plus 10% dodge if the wearer is not in cover, and extra property, strength bonus to wounds. So she is an agility build. This is not meant for her. But I'm going to wear heavy armor on my main character, so that's not going to change. The Vizier's head trembles with the infirmity of age, and his lips utter barely audible words meant for those only he can see. Dom and Donnie Dawson has honored us with a visit. We are glad. First Spinner. Peace, Cabello. You're the shield. You're the shadow. You're the blade. So be them. We stop killing people as I ordered. Prohibition imposed by the Lord of the Ark, against which we are powerless. To serve with honor is the rule the web commands us to follow. A spinner must be prepared for any test of their faith. It is difficult, but faithful we stay. The traditions and rituals are rooted in blood and death. Many are frightened by that. Many are blind, even with their eyes wide open. Thus spoke the matriarch spider. People look at things without seeing their essence, which makes them easy to beguile or frighten. We adorn the tunnels with the bones of the righteous, that they may guard our faithful against corrupt deeds and thoughts. We use the blood of the unholy ones for divination, so we may see dangers. The blood of martyrs is our wine, but their suffering makes us stronger. People are afraid, only because they see death as the end. Death, however, is a beginning. It is life and duty in oblivion. Death has many facets. That is its essence. That is its beauty. What are the tenets of the Bloodspun Web? I want a clear answer. Every thread ends in death. The Vizier falls silent, so those words have explained everything. Then he nods toward empty space. Yes, I see he is still full of questions. Let us give him answers about our ways, my brothers and sisters. What is your supreme commandment? To give and receive death, and to fear no twist or turn of fate. One who's afraid of death is already dead in their soul, waiting for the end, afraid to accept the inevitable. A life of fear is disgraceful. The true service is in dedicating oneself to death with no regrets. What do your tenants say about human weaknesses? The smallest stain of rot is enough to ruin the most beautiful woven pattern. Weakness is a gateway into the soul, one we hold open for new failings. It is born of desire. Kill your desires, and your weakness will die along with them. The followers of the web are skillful fighters. What is your secret? The Vizier smiles gently. I cannot share the full wealth of my knowledge, for it has taken me a lifetime to learn. But I can share this foremost lesson with you. Be guided by reason, not fury, when you fight. And seek no pleasure in killing. That is how you will win. I see. The Vizier is once again distracted by the empty space to his left. I'll take my leave now. We will meet again, Dahlman, when the threads of fate weave a bloody pattern. Alright, what do we get? Ability, and a common talent. Let's do Forceful Strike. I'm going to try and knock enemies into stuff. So the warrior gathers all their might for a crushing strike. The next melee attack pushes the enemy away. The distance of the push is equal to 3 cells. Its ability cannot be used with a heavy rock saw. Seems awfully specific. And let's do Arbity's physical training. The Arbitrator gains toughness equal to half their equipped shield's block. And I think we'll do Sworn Enemy with Abelard. The warrior marks a target, gaining plus 22% armor and plus 6 damage on melee attacks against that target. If the target attacks the warrior during this round, the warrior gains plus 1 AP once per round. Also like Breakthrough. But this is fine. So it doesn't currently have a chain weapon equipped. But that is the goal. Let's go and do a characteristic training weapon skill. Alright, and then for Adira. Combat Insight. While the operative's perception bonus is 10 or higher, they gain plus 1 AP and ignore enemies' deflection. The bonus AP is the main point of taking that. I'll probably lower warp for her. Alright, Soldier. This is a controlled shot. The soldier gives a sign that they are about to open fire. The soldier and their allies will automatically dodge the soldier's next attack. I guess awareness. Let's do mind over matter. The navigator makes all resistance tests with their willpower if it is higher than the base characteristic for such test. The navigator's willpower is higher than their toughness. The navigator's wounds are calculated according to their willpower. I guess fellowship. Fella. Let's do Blood Oath. This ability costs 10 wounds to use. Blade Dancer targets a single enemy, bound to dispatch their mark. The Blade Dancer's next attack against their selected enemy cannot be dodged or parried. If this attack kills a target, Blade Dancer regains 13 wounds and gains 1 AP, along with an additional attack this turn. This ability can be used multiple times per turn, but it grants plus 1 AP and an additional attack only once per round. And then Rising Tempo. Each attack made by the Blade Dancer increases the damage of all subsequent attacks they make this turn by 5%. This effect stacks up to 3 times. Area attacks, burst attacks, including the Blade Dance. Any other attacks that deal multiple hits are considered single attacks. Fine with that. Alright.
Keep your wits about you.
But the goal is to actually go up top, try and come back. A Spinner. His face covered in carved, bleeding glyphs makes a respectful gesture of invitation. Let me show you the way, Daman. The way to what? Spinner points his finger upward, at the ventilation shaft through which you reach the temple the first time. The path to where the lay people dwell is complex, web-like. Let me show you. Show me the way.
Options open.
Good thing we have good cardio.
Let us not dawdle.
Alright, so it looks like we cannot access that missed loot. A little unfortunate. I did see that ladder before I'd climbed down to the next level. I always forget you can climb ladders in this game. And of course, as soon as I descended, I'm like, well, we can probably climb that. Well, it's probably just cargo loot. Nothing unique. Or it's the one chest that the cat walks to have has unique items. Captain Franco's acquired a few wounds since your last conversation. Half of his ear is gone. You notice that he is wearing bloodied bandages under his uniform. Seeing you, he quickly injects himself with a stimulant and straightens. How may I serve you, Lord Captain? Were you in a shootout? Yes, there's been a raid on a local gang. We finally cleared out the scoundrels who were smuggling goods to neighboring compartments. No one escaped. Franco permits himself a brief smile of grim satisfaction. Enforcers have been appropriating ration cards from workers returning from their shifts. Why is that? Are you short on provisions? The compartment has just enough food to avoid starvation, Lord Captain. This is why the enforcers are making sure that no serf has more cards than they're supposed to. They used to rip out people's tongues for it, but I reduced the punishment to simply beating the thieves and confiscating all their cards. The orders are to give these cards to workers who are starving due to a lack of work shifts. Not that it helps them much, but it's better than nothing. Franco scoffs. Are there enforcers guilty of misappropriating the confiscated items? Yes. Do those caught stealing receive severe punishment? Absolutely. I came across a drawing of a worker in a red mask. What does it mean? The captain frowns. It's a figure of local legend known as Nemesite, protector of the poor and oppressed. Ever since I was a child, desperate people have been drawing this portrait on the walls hoping to summon a defender to punish those who wronged them. We've had 13 or so fools calling themselves Nemesite over the past 5 years. We disburden ourselves of them, just to be sure. The cultural heritage of this compartment is interesting. The captain shrugs. Not much can be expected from simple-minded serfs. I was attacked. Franco lets out a menacing growl as his face fills with blood. Who dared? There are thieves in one of the technical rooms. I've already dispatched them. Thieves. I just had an enforcer hanged for dealing with a local gang. I'd hoped that the lesson had been learned. Franco winces, as if from pain. By the Emperor, Lord Captain. Why must you be so unconcerned with your own safety? It's our duty to find and shoot lawless scum. Throne, you're going to become the best enforcer in the Bay at this rate. I encountered mutants in the Pestilence Pit. They seem to be under the influence of unholy powers. You went to the Pestilence Pit. You into the Pestilence Pit. Franco stares off into the distance as he speaks. Pardon me, Lord Captain. I just can't even begin to find the words I would use if I had to tell the Master-at-Arms that you had perished in there. He rubs his temple warily. The enforcers do regular checks to see if there are any dangerous blight-stricken rejects hiding at the bottom of the bay. I implore you, Lord Captain, leave this job to us. I'm only going to ask this once. How did wretches from the lower decks get their hands on a crate of autoguns? Autoguns? Purple spots appear on his face. Warp take me. They couldn't have bypassed the security of a munitions train and walked away with the cargo without help from someone and the enforcers. I executed one reprobate who was trafficking in weapons not too long ago, but even that moron wasn't so greedy and stupid as to arm the rabble with autoguns. So there's another who dishonors the enforcer's uniform. I'll find the maggot and shove their head under a passing train. The foreman believes that the people who stole the autoguns are connected to Nemesite. The foreman. You wouldn't believe the kinds of thugs he welcomes at his vat. I agree that sympathizers of Nemesite's anarchic cause may be involved in this outrage, but I don't trust that foreman character. He knows everyone in the Bay, he sees everything, but he never informs on one of his own. He only complains about problems I'm already well aware of. He did help us fight the... well, gene stealers. Spoilers. It seems to me that there is a mutiny brewing in your compartment. Threat of mutiny is always there, Lord Captain. We've uncovered several cells over the past month, although, admittedly, none of the traitors are armed with autoguns. We will redouble our efforts. The bastards will pay dearly for stealing our munitions. I have finished inspecting this bay. The captain raises a wary eyebrow. Will there be any orders based on the inspection's conclusions? The workers will be provided with everything they need to service the freight line properly. Food and medicine will be delivered to the bay, and you are to demote any enforcers found to be abusing their authority to the status of workers. The captain needs a moment to handle his confusion. Orders understood. Alright, so our ship got educated labor. The flagship's hull integrity is increased by +10. The plating of all sectors of the flagship is increased by 1. The freight line workers study to the best of their ability, applying newly attained knowledge for the betterment of the ship. Thanks to their efforts, logistical operations with the engineering base have become more efficient, which has opened up new opportunities for fortifying the ship's hull. Lord Captain, here to report. The orders have been carried out. The compartment is already operating according to the new procedure.
Always keep your eye on the price.
Alright, I'll take their word for it. Lord Captain, sir. Haddock Frenzo stops perusing the reports on his data slate. Hope that being in this bay has not caused you any inconvenience. Alright, cool. Let's say that we're done here.
Is there money to be made?
Alright, well I'm going to call it here. Next time we'll return to the bridge and set off for Rykad Minoris. But for now, thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys actually real quick. Oh wait. Okay, it is the same thing. Yeah, I think this rated mono knife is better. Alright. Oh, shoot.
Sins hidden in the heart turn all to decay.
I gave her the wrong thing. Oh, never mind, that was awareness. Yeah, I need to give her strength to equip heavy weapons. Well, either way for now, thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys in the next one.